Justin Hawkins writes again. It is I, Justin Hawkins. Please like and subscribe. Today I'm going to be discussing a band that I have anecdotal experience of, if you know what I mean. I don't really know their music very well, but I was kind of asked to perform one of their songs when I was in The Masked Singer. And the band is Imagine Dragons, and I was the chameleon. So you see, dragon, chameleon. So that put them on the back foot for me, or put me on the back foot with them rather. It coloured my perception of their music because it was getting to a stage in the competition where I didn't really want to be in it anymore. So I didn't really want to sing this song. I saw it as like I thought the link was tenuous for a start. I didn't think that my voice suited their music at all. And it just seemed like the song itself had a lot of inefficient syllable work. So here's some facts about Imagine Dragons, quite aside from the problems that I had when I was stubbornly not wanting to sing their song. They're an American pop rock band from Las Vegas. Okay, I can hear the pop, the rock. There's a guitar player there, for sure. Have sold more than 75 million records worldwide, making them one of the world's biggest selling music artists. That's a lot of records, isn't it? They were the most streamed group of 2018 on Spotify. I listened to their Radioactive one. I quite like that song, actually. Waking up to ash and dust. Okay, so that's... What does that remind you of? Today is gonna be the day that they're gonna bring back to you. Right now you should have somehow realized what you're gonna do. 'Cause I'm radioactive, It could be. A little bit. I don't know. But what I thought was interesting about it is when it gets to the chorus, it goes radioactive. Instead of being on the one, it's on the one. And it's on the and, so it's one and radioactive, as opposed to hitting it right on the thing. It's not radioactive, you know, radioactive, it's radioactive. Can you hear the difference? Radioactive, and not. So the syncopation is what makes that song interesting. I think it makes it pop out. Otherwise, it's Wonderwall. Sorry, but it is. The thing about Believer was like I saw a lot of syllables and not really saying anything. There's a bit where it goes, but it was kind of like saying same old thing, but slightly different way. But then just finding words that sound a bit like it, and never really expressing what the source of the pain or the thing that's actually hurting you. Okay, we're all in pain. I'm in pain right now. I've got pain in my throat, and also my knees. I'm 46 years old. There's pain everywhere. Pain is too much of a generic term, I think, to be able to hook any emotions on. But it's so broad and it's so generic that anybody who is in pain will go, pain, yeah, that's me, brilliant. But it's weak, you know. I think it's going to stop it from being a classic. So let's have a look at this new one, Enemy. Everybody wants to be my enemy. That's good because it's like he's doing some outsider stuff. My enemy. So that's the post-chorus tag, I'd call it. So it just has two chords. It's like G to F sharp. Both major. So they've got like a hybrid scale happening for the melody, somewhere between a G major scale. You know, it's like a. But it's got the major Yeah, it uses the major seventh instead of the higher root for the upper part of the melody. Because then when it resolves to the F sharp, still works, because if you're doing the F sharp, that's the seventh, it's the minor seventh, and the root. I just heard something else in that chord sequence. If you switch it round, it's hey, na 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 na. Yeah. And I will be alone from Love. That's from the 60s. They got a bit carried away with the chords there. You only need two, especially if you're Imagine Dragons. This one, and this one, and then a scale that's somewhere between this. Today was gonna be the day. It's not that again, is it? Today was gonna be the day that they're gonna throw it back to you. By now you should have somehow realised what you gotta do. It's not the only thing they have in common with Oasis, actually. What they've got there is a slightly repetitive melody over a generic chord sequence, and a lyric that really isn't saying much. You know. But they look really tough, so I've got to be careful what I say in case they beat me up. Aw, can't I just have one chip? For fuck's sake. Yeah, they do look really tough. There's a lot of violence in their videos. I would be disinclined to be disrespectful towards the Imagine Dragons, because one day I might meet them and the singer might beat me up, because I think he's been going to the gym quite a lot. He's really pleased with how powerful he looks. But again, I think when you say pop rock, when you hear a guitar in the Imagine Dragons, it seems to be, most of the time it seems to be like an acoustic guitar that's part of a production that involves big drums, and sort of the bombast comes from the tribal drum elements, and you see him with a mallet striking like a drum that's probably got some powder on it, that's mounted on a wall, so it's kind of more aggressive because it's a lateral motion as opposed to striking downwards. And I don't know if there's any guitar solos. Is there a guitar solo? I know there's not a guitar solo in this. It's got Jid, J-I-D, doing a rap, which is an amazing rap, but again, it doesn't really say anything. It's just a lot of syllables and no context for it, really. Let me just read some more lyrics. Oh, the misery. Everybody wants to be my enemy. That's a good line. Spare the sympathy. Everybody wants to be my enemy. Spare the sympathy. Everybody wants to be. I don't know. It's like if you exclaim, oh, the misery, and say I'm miserable, and then you say everybody wants to be my enemy, and then you say spare the sympathy. It's like, well, hang on, make up your mind. What are you trying to achieve? I'm searching to behold the stories that are told. Okay, behold and told is good. When my back is to the world that was smiling when I turned. Okay, turned and world, no. Tell you're the greatest, but once you turn, they hate us. So there's a change in personage between those two lines, isn't there? They tell you you're the greatest, but once you turn, they hate us. Hate us. It feels like two different people have written those lines. You know? They tell you you're the greatest, and the next line should say, but once you turn, they hate you. But it wouldn't sound good with greatest. It's not... I don't know if it's what I would describe as Shakespeare. It doesn't have to be. You know, I think I get a bit hung up on things like that sometimes because I care about lyrics. And so let me have a look at some other bits here. I'm not just slagging it off for the sake of it. I always do look for the positives, you know this. But I think if you're selling 75 million records, you need to be accountable, and you need to be able to withstand the scrutiny of a 46-year-old moderately successful musician who's just dying to achieve a honorary doctorate in music. If anybody wants to give me one of those, I'll wear a hat or whatever it is you have to do. I don't know. It's supposed to be like a theme for an outsider from a band that is very much the establishment at the moment. When you go into like a songwriting assignment, you often find yourself having to sort of at least acknowledge the production values of an Imagine Dragons song, because they're just huge, aren't they? It's like everybody's listening to it. Not everybody, but I mean, that's the thing that people want to sound like. It's the thing that taps into a tribal rage. A tribal rage, that's what it is. But it's so broad. I think if you care about poetry, the poetry of songwriting, you're not going to find much in there that actually touches you or moves you. But if you just want to have a dance around to some loud drums, and basically it's the Blue Man Group of songwriting, you know. It's it's no coincidence that they come from Las Vegas, I think. Hang on. Not that there's anything wrong with Las Vegas, it's a brilliant place, but you know what I mean. It sort of sounds, it's kind of like, it's about the bombast as opposed to the nuanced emotional expression, I think. And I think there's a time and a place for both of those things. It'd be great if it had like somebody who was writing lyrics for them that actually could express feelings other than kind of testosterone, I suppose. Second studio album, it's just, they just got like, it's numbers. They're brilliant numbers. Brilliant numbers. And I think that's because I think it's plasticine in the sense that you can mould the sensations that they're describing are universal, but I think if you take away the context and you just leave the emotion, it makes I mean, a cynical songwriter might say, well, then you can put your own pain in there, or the thing that you're angry about, you put that in there, as opposed to sort of having to lend empathy to a songwriter. You just transplant their pain and that emotive expression onto whatever it is that you're going through that makes you want to dance to the loud drums, and the frustration and whatever he's going for. I know nothing about this guy. From listening to 3 songs, I know nothing except for he likes violence. So I fully expect him to break my nose again next time I visit Las Vegas. If I'm wrong about Imagine Dragons, then do let me know. I mean, perhaps I'm missing something. I'm only sort of talking about a broad take, not a very hot take on 3 songs. If I'm missing something, please educate me. I want to hear what the fuss is about. I don't think it's going to be the lyrics. But then who am I? Ivor Novello, award-winning songwriter Justin Hawkins.